Yo, Levatos, thanks for tuning into yet another video. We are trying to install the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing on the Roadster. So it's not exactly the same as far as the width of the forks. They're off about 1.5 inches. So if you have a lowrider wrist and you have inverted forks, you need the bigger clamp, which is this one. This is the bigger clamp. This fits, forks that are a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. You have the other ones, I believe they're 40, or are they? I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but the regular forks. If you have a clamp for a street bob, for a lowrider, for anything that's not inverted, that's not gonna work for the Roadster. So that's that. So you need the wider fork clamps. So since we're short about 1.5 inches on the width of the forks, the mounting, I went ahead and I got these spacers. They're 3/4 thick. They're alloy, and they're painted black, so it's gonna match the the clamp. So what we're planning to do, I already had one of these off just to kind of show you guys which one is. Oh, is this one right here. So what we're gonna attempt to do to get this to fit is remove these mounting what are these called, mounting whatever, these mounting slots. We're gonna get these mounting slots removed. We're gonna go ahead and install a spacer, 3/4 in each side will equal 1.5 inches. And we have these 1.25 inch quarter by 20 Allen head bolts. That's gonna go in like so, and then if we have to add a little bit more width or a little bit more space, we're gonna put a couple washers in there. So this is what it's gonna look like. Hopefully it works. I don't think it's gonna look too bad. Looking at it right now with the spacer, I don't think it's gonna stand out that much, but we'll see what happens. But this is how to fit Lowrider S Road Warrior fairing on a Roadster. Alright, so let's go ahead and install the headlight. Of course, I am using the light extender for the Lowrider S. This is the way it looks, and we're just going to lightly tighten this bolt so we can adjust it without it, you know, falling every single time, you know, we're trying to adjust it. So just put enough pressure on the hex bolt that it kind of, you know, retains its shape. So I'm using a 3/4 spacer right in here. This is the same one I used for the mount, in case you guys are wondering. So that's one of the parts I had to use from the other spacer. So that's a 3/4 spacer, and then obviously this is what came with the light extension block. I guess that's what Memphis Shades calls it. But yeah, so basically anything Lowrider S anything that's meant for a Lowrider S from Memphis Shades, we're going to be using all of it on the Roadster. So I also went ahead and I pulled this wire out a little bit more from the housing, from the bucket. I pulled it out a little bit more just to kind of give myself, I say about what is this, maybe 2 inches or an inch and a half, mainly because I'm moving the headlight forward. Of course, I'm moving it forward by maybe, I don't know, maybe about an inch. So I just wanted to kind of, you know, just give myself a little bit of extra room without splicing into the line and extending it, kind of like what I did with the Speedo. So we're gonna be installing this, and yeah, I was gonna install the knockoff LP6 light that I have, but it's just too small. I don't like the gap in between the fairing and the light, so I went ahead and I ordered the 7-inch one. So that should be 6 3/4, and it should fit with the Road Warrior fairing. And once that comes in, and if I like the way it looks, I'm gonna go ahead and splice into this, add that headlight, and then connect it onto the, you know, install it onto the Roadster. That way you guys can see how that's done. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Oh yes, bolts wise, these are 2-inch 3/8, so 3/8 bolts, and 2 inches length, because they don't sell 1 inch 3/4 for these bolts, for these hex bolts. So you have to get them 2 inches. Luckily there isn't any interference for the, you know, that extra little bit right here that sticks out. Not a big issue, guys, so it's still going to work. Let's go ahead and install this before the you know, before the sun goes down.